When the eternal speaks before silence, a reflection on life, legacy, and the last words of a pope. It's a striking thing when a man so near the veil of eternity still finds the strength to speak life. Just 24 hours before the world received the solemn news of his passing, the Pope stood beneath the shadow of the great dome of St. Peter's Basilica, his voice echoing through the square. He had just greeted thousands with Easter joy, a joy rooted not in circumstance, but in the defiant hope of resurrection. He met with the Vice President of the United States, one of his final audiences. His countenance was tired, yet radiant. His words, as always, were intentional. And now, he is gone. What do we make of such a moment? A man of God, a shepherd to millions, giving his last public words not in retreat or reclusion, but with arms extended to a world in need of blessing. It causes one to pause, and not merely to mourn, but to listen. There is something sacred in the way he lived his last day. It was not wasted in self-preservation or hidden in silence. Instead, he gave himself fully to the mission until the end, speaking peace, extending kindness, reminding us all of the fragility of life and the urgency of grace. Personal reflection and remembrance. It was only a year ago that I stood within the very walls of the Vatican. I was there with my friend Aaron. I remember it vividly. The marble floors beneath my feet had been worn smooth by centuries of pilgrims. The air held both the weight of history and the hush of prayer. As I gazed up at Michelangelo's dome and walked the solemn halls where countless decisions have shaped the course of faith, I felt my soul quiet. Not in fear, but in awe. The kind of awe that reminds you, this life is fleeting, but it is also holy. There, surrounded by the ancient and the eternal, I was reminded that every breath is a gift. The Pope's passing has stirred that memory once again. It has reminded me, and I hope it reminds you, that we are not promised tomorrow. We hold this life like sand in our hands, not knowing how much will slip through our fingers before the sun sets. Yet we are invited day after day to live with purpose, to forgive freely, to speak boldly, to embrace deeply, to love without hesitation. This is our call to action, a moment of reflection. So what will we do with this moment? It's easy in the rush of modern life to push aside the things that matter most. We save our best words for later. We withhold kindness for fear it won't be returned. We live carefully, often fearfully, as if safety could preserve us from the inevitable. But the Pope, in his final day, lived as if every word counted, and so should we. What if we started living like that? Not recklessly, but intentionally. Not as those trying to escape death, but as those who have been entrusted with life. Perhaps today is the day to write that letter you've been putting off, to call someone you miss, to apologize without defense, to say I love you without waiting for the perfect moment, to show up, to give generously, to let go of bitterness. We are not eternal in this flesh, but we carry eternity within us. And that matters. I think the Pope knew that. I think that's why he stood, frail yet faithful, and gave his last public message with such quiet power. His passing is not only a historical moment, it's a whisper from beyond reminding us to live while we are still living. I don't know what you're walking through right now. Maybe life feels heavy. Maybe the days feel ordinary. Maybe you're waiting for things to change before you truly engage with the world around you. But I want to encourage you, don't wait. Don't wait to become who you were made to be. Don't wait to love people well. Don't wait to pursue the calling that's burning in your chest. Don't wait to start living a life you won't regret. Let the Pope's final day become a quiet trumpet call to your soul. A reminder that when we live fully, even in our final breath, we can echo through eternity. If this reflection speaks to you, I invite you to pause today, to breathe deeply, to remember what truly matters, and to begin, or begin again, to live with intentionality, because the clock is always ticking, but life is still here, and it is still worth living well. Thank you for being here. Please share this with someone who needs hope. God bless you and keep you, by Cleon J. Allain.